So if you're replacing some, say headstock bearings, wheel bearings, sprocket carrier bearings, and they're that knackered, they all fall apart, here's a little hack. What you can do, you can use a welder to weld the inside of the outer race that is left inside of either of those things, and once it cools down, the hardened bearing will shrink. And obviously once it shrinks, sometimes it can just fall out. It's a good hack to do on wheel bearings on a car as well, that's worth noting. It only work on the outer ones. I wouldn't do it on an inner one because it could actually shrink it more, so it will, you know, effectively seize onto the shaft. But my experience without bearing rings that stick out, that stick in hubs and stuff, brilliant way. Get the welder out, weld all the way around as much as you can, get as much heat into it as possible. I like to cool it under a cold tap straight away because that makes it like cool down quick, which seems to shrink it better. Sometimes it falls out, or sometimes you can just put enough weld on it just so you can get a drift in there and just knock it out, but it would knock out pretty easy. So the step-by-step is coming up. Unfortunately, we didn't get a bit of knocking the bearing out because a customer came in, I had to shoot off, deal with them. Ash didn't realise I was filming and took the bearing out himself, but it literally just tapped out, almost fell out. So watch the rest of the video, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll leave it there. Right, so there, as you can see, it's not the best welder in the world. This is just a cheap gasless welder. We've got two shops over this way. We've only got a cheap gasless welder, but that's all you need. You don't need anything drastic because all you're doing is getting heat into it and maybe building up somewhere you can get a drift onto it. So get as much heat into it as possible. Once you go most of the way round, like I said, cool it down, get a drift in there, drift it out. That's a good way of removing stuck outer races, bearing races in hubs, headstock bearings and similar stuff like that. Yeah, that's the end of that video, but I can't stress enough, not just for support, but for all of our expertise and knowledge that we have gained. We are a busy bike shop, so you know, we're coming across things more than a daily basis, and we are going to be uploading a lot more on the channel, so make sure you subscribe if you want, you know, if you like what we're doing, if you just like that little tip. There's going to be plenty more coming out. Every little opportunity now, we will be filming these things, sticking it on YouTube to help you all along. Basically, sharing knowledge is always a good thing, so please make sure you subscribe.